At Quahog Honda and Subarus, we got Hondas and Subarus. Hey, young world, what's good? This is Reese and Max coming to you with another installment of Reese and Max reviews for you
for Marvel's Avengers Endgame.
Today we're going to be reviewing the highly anticipated Avengers Endgame,
which was not as good as Infinity War.
Well, everybody was anticipating this, and it was very much hyped up, and it was supposed to be so epic, and it turned out to be meh. That is a joke.
No,
it was freaking awesome.
It was good. It was a 9.25, but I'm mad because it wasn't better than Infinity War. Infinity War was a perfect 10. This was 9.25, not that good, man. It should have exceeded my expectations, but let's not be on the negative side on this review. Let's talk about the things I did like.
First of all, I disagree. I think that Endgame was a beautiful movie. I think it was better than Infinity War. I think it was almost a perfect movie. It was awesome. I don't think people understand that this was truly a monumentous event. It was truly history in the making. I mean, never before has there been any event like what Marvel has done. The whole thing is genius. This was a series of movies, all of them tying together. It started back in 2008, and it 11 years, and it all culminated into this one event. This is the fourth Avenger movie. Not to mention that there was countless other movies that all tied in together, and
that's the thing I love about Stan Lee. He's in theory, he's a genius. That's what I love the most about it. It's like it all makes sense. It's the butterfly effect. Just a single things that could happen from another movie were to tie into this one. It lines up perfectly. And I gotta say, R.I.P. to Stan Lee, and you did a good job, man.
R.I.P. to Stan Lee. But the thing is, yes, this was Stan Lee's brainchild as far as the source material goes, but you have to appreciate the Marvel executives and whoever's working in the Marvel for the Marvel Studios. These guys are freaking genius. Like, this was so well thought out. Like I said, there has never been a series like this in the history of cinema. Yeah. So much the work that's been put into this, like, you've employed hundreds, if not thousands of people. You've had dozens of movies and series, and you've had all these actors, like, and all to line up, and it just, to me, it lined up perfectly. They did a remarkable job of in executing this whole thing. They had phases, like Marvel Phase 1, 2, and 3, and this was the third phase, and it all culminated into something that I think was pure brilliance.
But other than that, about how amazing the movie was, I think I really like the characterizations, such as Chris Hemsworth's role. I like how as Thor he let himself go, because he's usually foreseen, like, he's one of my favorite characters, Thor. He's seen as like, oh, the strong god that has abs and stuff like that, the chiseled god. But it was kind of funny to see how he let himself go. He had that beer gut, and especially when they're playing Fortnite Battle Royale. If you guys play Fortnite, there's a game mode that's like the Marvel's Endgame. It was like back in Season 4 last year how they released a Thanos game mode. They released a new version where you could actually use the Avengers, and I just think that's really cool how two of the biggest companies in the world, they interlock together. I like that.
From a story standpoint, and the writing was brilliant, because most superhero movies, if you think about it, outside of the Marvel universe, superheroes are pretty straightforward. There's a bad guy, there are good guys, there's good and evil opposing each other, but the story was a lot more complex than that. They dealt with a lot of issues. They dealt with issues like depression. They were dealing with acceptance, just being able to move on after the event that happened. So they're showing about life in a universe, more specifically on planet Earth, life after the snap. And some people can never get over it. there
A
were
lot of
characters.
people moved on.
Yeah, there were characters that moved on. It was like, well, life goes on, and how do we deal with that? And the best person who dealt with it was the main character, Tony Stark. And unfortunately, Iron Man dies, Tony Stark dies, and
There's no bringing him back. He's dead forever.
This was an emotional movie.
I was heartbroken. I was tearing up in the theater when I witnessed this. So.
I was tearing up, but for a different reason. But because you knew folks were gonna die. There was some finality in there in this, but Iron Man hit you though really hard, especially because actually this all started with Iron Man. When I was saying that it started back in 2008, that was the movie that kicked it off. The original Iron Man movie, it kicked off the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's funny that, okay, it started with him, but I can't say that it's going to end with him. Yes, the Avengers 4 Endgame, it ended with Tony Stark's death, but they're going to be on to the next phase. Marvel, their whole planning is genius. I mean, phase 4 is going to be different. They're going to do some new things. Everybody knows that, but it's going to be different. It's not going to be the same old Avengers that we've come to know and love. The Endgame, it was so incredible. There was so many big name people that came there. You couldn't count them all on one hand or both hands. There were so many. It was an emotional movie. You had heroes that will be never coming back, but I think that's cool because there was a complexity to the story that you don't get in most superhero movies. Like in the comic books, these heroes were dying. Of course, a lot of them be coming back from time to time or what have you, but death is a part of life, and I'm glad that they didn't necessarily try to shield us from it. You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs, and some folks, you can't have a battle on such an epic scale, like literally all of existence was at stake. So some people had to die in the process, and they sent these people off in the most heroic fashions. They sacrificed themselves for all of existence, all of the whole known universe and unknown universe. So I think it worked out. This was truly an epic and monumental event. They made history with this. It was a brilliant piece of work. And
this was probably the best movie to exist.
Yeah, I would go ahead and say that I would give it about 9.5 grapples.
Rick and Morty reference, by the way.
Okay, for the most part, the acting was brilliant. I mean, everybody knows that these people, they were very well casted. Most of the people fit their roles or what have you. Like Jeremy Renner, I'm glad he came back as Hawkeye. Hawkeye wasn't even in Infinity War. They brought him back in the Endgame, and he was brilliant. His character was brilliant. The actor, Jeremy Renner, he did a fantastic job. I believed every scene he was in, and he had some really emotional scenes, especially, with the passing of Black Widow and what have you. Chris Hemsworth, he had a lot of emotional scenes. He did a fantastic job. Robert Downey Jr., amazing, phenomenal job. The one person I didn't believe was Gwyneth Paltrow. Pepper Potts. It's just, and then she's the Academy Award winner. I was like, I didn't believe her. Her fiance, lost in space, didn't ever know if she would see him again, and then suddenly he comes back, and her first meeting with him, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe that's how a woman would act. I didn't think she was a good actor. I had an issue with that. And then even when he died at the end, the youngster, or the youngest person on there, what is his name? Tom Hardy? Spider-Man kid.
Yeah, I wanted to touch up on that. My final thing that I loved about the movie was how, in Infinity War, Iron Man watched Spider-Man die, or not die, fade away. And it was emotional. He was speaking really fast. He was like, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. It was just really sad. And then to see it reversed in this movie, that had me really heartbroken. To have Spider-Man watch Tony Stark die, that was his father figure. And that made me extremely emotional. I was about to cry.
Another issue I had with the movie, and I know a lot of people are going to be upset about this for me even saying it, but this whole female empowerment thing. It just.
We're gonna get a lot of hate for that.
I know, but the thing is, okay, don't get me wrong.
I don't really like Captain Marvel's.
No. I love all of the female characters. These female heroes were brilliant, and they're just as capable as the male heroes. I think they were amazing. But there was a scene where they took all of the female heroes in the movie and put them together in the middle of a battle to pose for a freaking selfie. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, these females are awesome. Let them be awesome. Let them be great on their own. Like, you don't have to contrive a situation where, like, in the middle of a battle, like, everything is going bananas, and then
people are dying.
And these all females, they're all off doing the same thing, doing what they can to contribute to the battle, and then all of a sudden, hey, I see a group of females over there. Let's all get together and pose for a selfie. It just, at that point, when you contrive some kind of crazy selfie, it diminishes what you're doing, in my opinion. And I had an issue with that. I love the characters. It's just, you don't have to do that. We already appreciated them. They were cool. There's no need to do that. And that was an issue. That's why I couldn't say that, I couldn't give it a perfect movie because, the fan service, you don't have to really do that. There was a lot of ex machinas in this movie, like the whole, like, Scott Lang. So Scott Lang at the end of Ant-Man 2, he was stuck in the quantum universe, and then to bring him back, a rat happened to walk across the instruments, and it brought him back to the to regular reality.
After 5 hours, that was crazy. He's lucky.
5 years.
After 5 hours for him. It was crazy because, like, if you think about it, a rat saved our universe. Let that sit.
I didn't even consider that, but
a rat saved our universe.
So had it not been for that rat walking across,
a rat saved the universe.
A single rat. If it had not been for that rat, the universe would have been doomed.
We would not know about the quantum realm. We would not know about time travel. We wouldn't get the Infinity Stones. Thanos would still be taking over. Well, actually, he was dead.
Yeah, he was.
Because he got his head chopped. But still, a rat saved the universe, Marvel. A rat.
Yeah, so many things happen. So many things in this movie just happen by chance. Like, if one thing would have slipped up and one thing didn't go the way they needed it to go,
if they called an exterminator in that storage unit, our universe would be dead. And that's Endgame. This is us signing out.
Goodbye, young world, and don't let your distractions hinder your actions. Goodbye, young world.
Peace out.
Jason Max signing off.